Right, now let's get to your betting preview for Seattle and Dallas. I guess this is the big Fox game. Currently, the line sees Seattle minus 5.5 with a total of 57. There are some 56.5s out there. It opened up at Seattle minus 3, although minus 116, which makes it, kind of right on the cusp of 3.5 and a total of 58. Of course, Dallas is 1-1 straight up, but 0-2 ATS, splitting their two totals. That's Dallas. Seattle, meanwhile, 2-0 straight up in ATS, going over both games. And in fact, Seattle was third in the NFL in over margin, going over by an average of 16.8 points per game. Some people refer to that as the sweat barometer. Now, this is the big difference between us at offshoreinsiders.com and where this article appears on joeduffy.net and then some of those other, higher money sites where they just hire entry-level writers who do essentially an AP summary and don't even tell you what the gambling significance is. Well, we do. Dallas is fresh off a stunning comeback win against Atlanta. But dogs of 4.5 or more off a comeback win in which they trail by at least 17 points or a go-against of 18-8, including 12-4 since 2006. Now, this would say to fade Dallas and go with Seattle. However, it doesn't mean that we just have one system on this game, and you might say that size, we would say that size is kind of small, so at best it would be corroborating information. We do have an anti-splits angle, and again, anti-splits angles at Joe Duffy's Picks works in every single solitary sport. This is why we love them. But what it says is go with the road team that has a much worse away winning percentage than the home team has a home winning percentage. That is 185, 129, and 8. Now I know what you're saying. But Dallas has only played just 2 games. They played 1 game on the road, which they lost, 1 game at home, which they won. But yes, that still applies. Overreaction is enormous early in the year. This angle is actually 73 and 43 for 62.9% in the first 4 weeks of the year, or more accurately, in weeks 3 and 4, because it doesn't apply in weeks 1 and 2. So, yes, even with the limited sample size, it still holds up, and in fact, by a slightly better winning percentage. Now, when a team, in this case Seattle, is coming off consecutive games in which at least 60 points were scored, and the current total is 57 or higher, it goes over at a 15-4-1 rate, and that applies here. By the way, if you like this free information, please give us a like, or give us a heart if you're watching. We're on multimedia. If you're watching on Periscope, please give us a like over there. And give us a good review if you're listening to us on iTunes, etc. We really appreciate it. The public betting percentages, let's see. Let's get the updated percentages. Updated from the joeduffy.net article. 53% of the tickets written are on Seattle, but yet, despite that, an incredible 84% of the money is on Dallas. Meanwhile, 80% of the tickets and 99% of the money on the over, and that is humongous. Power ratings, as you know, we've isolated 3 power ratings and simulators that are, without any question, the 3 best. The best power ratings that we have say that Seattle should be laying 2.5 with a total of 52 and project Seattle to win 27-24. Computer simulations, one of our top projection models, did 10,000 simulations and found Dallas covering about 52% of the time. That's not all that impressive, admittedly, but as corroborating data, again, it's okay. Going under 67% with a 30-26 final score projected, so obviously keep an eye on that total as far as that projection is concerned. Really, essentially, it just depends. But another has Dallas covering 56.6% of the time at 4.5. The same percentage applies at 5, except the probability of a push goes up to 2%. This simulator has a game going under 53.6% of the time, and the power line from that simulator is Seattle -3 and 55. Against the spread trends, Dallas is 10-3 after allowing more than 250 yards passing in the previous game. Seattle 3-7 at home. Over-under trends, Dallas is going over 13-3 off of the spread loss. Seattle over 12-5 off of a win. We got 10 Sunday winners including a season-high 4 Wise Guy plays, plus Monday Night Football winner at offshoreinsiders.com from Joe Duffy's Pick. Now, our free pick is going to be on Dallas. Once again, Dallas. So much is there. Despite the one angle about the teams coming from behind, but again, a small sample size. Our systems, our simulators agree. There's none of our simulators or power ratings say to go with Seattle. They all say either go with Dallas or a slight lean towards Dallas. And a contrarian information, a lot of people believe, and we find it to be fairly accurate, that when the tickets are on one side, but the money is much more on that side, you follow the money. And finally, we talked about the opening line. In reality, the opening line would be about 3.5 because it was 3 minus some decent juice, but 3.5. Way back when, I used to watch that Jim Feist show on USA Network, and their best NFL handicap. We know all the best handicappers are in the business and whatnot. And he used to say almost every week, and there was a lot of truth to it, that he would make the line the week before the games because he knows the public and then therefore the odds makers are going to over adjust to what happened the week before. Square bettors definitely overreact to what happened just the week before. And then, of course, you got to make some adjustments based on injuries. Well, both of these teams do have injuries, mostly on the defensive side of the ball, which, again, those of you bet, it's true that a lot of what I like to call the organic handicappers might say, look, both of these teams have injuries on defense, and they might take a long look on the over. But anyway, he has a legitimate point, is what I was saying. And the opening now, since then, back then, sportsbooks didn't have a line open the week before or before the week before his games kicked off. Now they do. So obviously, Seattle, look, they went down to the wire against New England, literally the last play, goal line stand. Still, there's no question they looked more impressive last week than Dallas did in that crazy come-from-behind victory. And that's why there was a little bit of over-adjustment. A lot of people would argue, look, Dallas should be 0-2. Dallas should be 0-2. But that is why the line has moved a little bit too much. So too many things all point towards Dallas. Again, the free pick is Dallas. I would appreciate if you give us likes. Oh, subscribe to us. My goodness, wherever you're watching or listening to this, please subscribe to us. If you're not already following us on Twitter, please do so at Offshore Insider. Yeah, it gets a little confused. My website is offshoreinsiders.com. There are character limitations, so there is no S on our Twitter handle.